And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to Darlington Raceway for race number 24 of Season 8 of the NNSCRA Snickers Cup Series. Tried to say that fast and I messed up. Anyway, we're getting ready here for the first race of the contender round of the chase. We just finished up our 3 races of the first segment of our new chase format. Now we begin the second portion of our chase format, where we're going to be running here at Darlington, then we end up running at Lime Rock, and then 4 more drivers will get eliminated at Indianapolis. Coming into tonight's race, 4 drivers are already eliminated from the championship contention. They include Nathan Hudson, Joshua Michaels, Cole Daly, and Makoto Iguchi, who were in 13th through 16th when the contender round began. Therefore, they are eliminated from the championship, but still, they got a chance to be able to pick up as many wins as they can before the season's out, and the fact that they were able to make the chase is certainly quite an accomplishment for those 4 drivers as well. So, coming into tonight's race, we have 12 co-points leaders, because the points were reformatted for the drivers that transferred in via the top 12 spots in points, but none of them during those 3 races that we had at the beginning of the season went to victory lane. So there is nobody who received any bonus points for winning and transferring their way into this contender round, which means that every single driver that is in the hunt for the championship still comes into this race dead tied with the points lead. Danny Wells, though, who's got 2 wins this season, 2 wins that have come in the last 3 weeks, he's on the pole for tonight's race, looking for his 3rd win of the season to join the ranks of Trent Dunham. Alongside of him, a driver looking for his 2nd win of the season, Jacob Lawler. Keep in mind, this week, next week, and the following week, if any driver wins here at Darlington, Lime Rock, or at Indianapolis that is in the hunt for the championship, they automatically transfer into the next round. So Lawler tonight, if he can pick up his 2nd win of the season, he's automatically transferred into the next round where the top 8 transfer as he tries to defend his championship. Anthony McCurry going to line up in the 3rd position in an Audi. Audi at Darlington has a lot of history because they made their debut back in Season 6. Noah Hart was able to put Audi in victory lane in their debut race. Since then, Audi's been able to go to victory lane 2 other times, but McCrory would love to be able to put an Audi in victory lane for the first time this season at the place where it all began for Audi. And alongside of him is going to be Megan Atkins in the 33. Megan trying to become the 3rd Michael Norman Motorsports driver to go to victory lane this season. She hasn't been to victory lane since Talladega of last year. But it's time to get these cars rolling off. The drivers that are still in contention for the championship that all come in tied for the points lead are as follows: Jessica Shelton, Dylan Young, James Qualls, Dylan Pote, Michael Norman, Jacob Lawler, Trent Dunham, Levi McIntyre, Joshua College, Sean Galligan, Sean Henley, and John Cittadino. As you're looking at your starting lineup, the drivers that are still in the chase hunt that I just mentioned, they are highlighted in yellow. So it should be a wild one here at Darlington. Our truck race was pretty calm. Our mobile one race, though, it was a bit of a wreck fest. A lot of drivers having difficulty of not turning each other, having difficulty of their cars sliding off of turns 2 and 4. And so we're left wondering what kind of an aspect we're going to have here for the Snickers Cup Series race. Will it be calm, or will we have quite a few wrecks? And if we do have quite a few wrecks here, how's that going to position chasers that might get involved heading into next week? Danny Wells going to lead them down here. The Bojangles Southern 500 here at Darlington Raceway. The first race of the contender round of the chase is green. Lawler seemed to get a slightly better jump there than Danny Wells did. The only problem for Lawler is he's on that outside line, and the inside line is the line that's definitely going to move. Danny Wells going to clear Lawler, coming here out of 2. McCurry right behind him in 2nd. Bob Jones lined up in 3rd. McCurry now going to take that runner-up spot away from Lawler, who gets a little wide in that corner. Almost got up there and got himself a Darlington stripe. I think we're going to see a lot of them tonight. Oh, caution flag's already out. Well, I think we know what aspect it's going to take then, whether it's going to be calm or caution-filled. I think we just answered that question as the caution comes out immediately on lap number 1. See who was involved here. Looks like Makoto Iguchi, who was just recently eliminated from the championship contention. Our Daytona 500 winner was involved. Zach Buchanan's got some damage, and so does Michael Norman. That's one of our championship contenders right there in the 3. Charles Sanford is on the apron. Damage to both the front and rear of his Mitsubishi Lancer. And Chris Washer's got some right side damage. There's Joshua Michaels. He may have been involved. Some more skid marks up here in this area. I don't know if somebody else got wrecked or what. Oh, Megan Atkins. 33 is coming to pit road. Started this race off from the 4th position. And apparently Megan got involved in something there. I did see a 3-wide situation further back. I don't know if Megan was a part of that or not. As Balkowitz, Joshua Collard, Chris Washer, they're on the pit lane. And I don't really know if maybe Megan was on the high side of a 3-wide situation or something. But she's coming in with the Starbucks Chevrolet, getting that car repaired. So the caution's out for the first time this evening. None of the leaders decide to pit early on here. Danny Wells still remains the leader. Let's jump back and see what put us under the yellow for the first time here tonight at Darlington. Well, you have to look quickly here when it switches frames here to this camera angle. Watch the 9 of Makoto Iguchi. Makoto's going to get into the left rear Chris Washer there. Turns him up into the wall. And I don't know if Washer hit a portion of the wall there where the safer barrier comes out or not. Seems like it did the way that his car just jolted to the left. But he spins out right in front of Charles Sanford, Zach Buchanan, Michael Norman. Zach comes down right in front of Trent Dunham, so another chaser actually got involved in this. And I think for the most... Oh, there's a hit there for Sanford. Oh, Sanford got hit by Dylan Poteet. So a couple more drivers taking a couple of hits that we didn't know about. And there you see Joshua Michaels. He's up in the wall. So is Harrison Langford. So that's how those guys all ended up getting some right side damage. And then Zach tried coming back up the racetrack. Sanford was already there. Look at Citadino just being able to split the gap. Oh, and then Makoto's going to hit Michael Norman in the driver's side door. That's how Michael got his damage. Because I was going to say, Michael looked like he got through that pretty cleanly. But there you see the hit from the 9. And we actually found out, we won't even show you a replay, but the reason that Megan Atkins had to give up such a good spot and come to pit road was she was also up and into the wall. I think she had a little contact from somebody and she was up in the wall, but she was able to hang on to it. But she came down to repair that right side damage anyway. So that's what put us under the caution for the first time here tonight. Looks like drivers having a little difficulty giving a little bit of room here at Darlington, but maybe with a single file restart we'll be able to get a couple of green flag laps in. But a couple of chasers did get collected in this. Michael Norman, Dylan Poteet, and Trent Dunham getting bits and pieces of this first incident of the evening. So we'll get ready to go back to green flag race on lap 6 of 37. That should give us a total of 32 to go here tonight. Danny Wells is the leader. Anthony McCurry lines up second. Third place is Jacob Lawler, Bob Jones in fourth. Fifth place Ralph Mason, Dougie Shears sixth, Dylan Young seventh. Cody Lamas is 8th, 9th Isaac Canepa, and 10th is Zachary Fitzwater. That is it for the top 10. Only 2 chasers in the top 10 for this restart. Let's find out where the rest of our chasers are restarting. Jessica Shelton will restart back in 15th. James Qualls in 19th. Levi McIntyre will be 20th. Trent Dunham is 22nd. Sean Henley in 25th. Sean Galligan 27th. Dylan Poteet, you see he has some rear end damage from that incident. He's 29th. John Citadino 33rd, Joshua Collar 35th, and Michael Norman restarting all the way back in 40th position. Green flag back out. Everybody, I believe, is still on the racetrack. Yes, indeed. Nobody retiring from that incident. Already got a good battle shaping up back there for the 7th position. Cody Lamas got a nice restart. He'll go past Dylan Young, take the 7th position away. Zachary Fitzwater underneath of Isaac Canepa, that would be for 9th, as there's a battle for the lead. Anthony McCurry going to get to the inside of Danny Wells. Like I said, Audi wants to be able to win here. This is where they won their debut race. But look at Danny Wells. He got a nice run there out of 4 down the front straightaway, but not going to be able to hang on here into 1. And McCurry slipped up big time, got wicked loose through those corners, and now Jacob Lawler going to take advantage. He's going to go to the point. Bob Jones right behind him. Lawler now seems to have trouble there. Drivers are seeming to have a bit of trouble with the entry into both turns 1 and 3. The leader especially seems to always slip up. We saw Danny Wells do it, we just saw McCurry do it, and Lawler had difficulty with it just there. This time a little bit smoother there through turns 1 and 2. Bob Jones running somewhat the same line, maybe a half a groove lower. Bob Jones gets a run there off of that turn 2 down the straightaway, and here he comes looking for the lead. Bob Jones' only one Snickers Cup Series win came at Derek Motodome last season in his rookie season, at a time when he was running in 4th place and the top 3 all wrecked. And he was able to come around and pick up his first win as a rookie. Right now leading the way, but Anthony McCurry has been able to battle his way back up to 2nd now. Dougie Shears up there in the 3rd position. Dougie Shears has been close the past couple of weeks. Remember back to Rockingham, and he had a great car at Daytona. He just hasn't been able to have himself in the right position to be able to pick up the victories. Anthony McCurry going to give Bob Jones a little bit of a shove going into 1. Oh, wow, Bob got really loose in that middle of that corner. He almost got up into the wall, then tried to correct it, almost overcorrected it down into the passenger side door of the Rolex Audi. But they're all still good. We're still green somehow, some way. McCurry leads, Bob Jones 2nd, Shears in 3rd, Cody Lamas up here in 4th, and Zachary Fitzwater, the only one of the heavy metal motorsports drivers not yet to go to victory lane this season. He's in the 5th position. There's Cody, pressuring Dougie Shears for the 3rd position right now. Cody Lamas and Ashley LaPlante and Kyle Matthews have yet to go to victory lane for Hendrick Daly Motorsports. Right now, 2 of them are running up here. Oh, there was smoke back there in the middle of the pack. Is there a caution? There is a caution. We had ourselves a wreck right in the middle of the pack, and there are drivers spinning there on the front straightaway. Lots of drivers involved. John Cittadino, hood completely crunched up. Oh my goodness, Sean Henley just got nailed by Makoto Iguchi, and now he's upside down on his roof. There is Cittadino. Brandon Gonzalez has been collected. Oh, he just ran to the back of Tanner Sullivan, Harrison Langford, Sanford, Cole Daly, Michael Norman was in it. I know there were a number of others that got collected. I don't know exactly who they were. It looks like Galligan, I know for certain he was in it. Balkowitz, I think Silver Fox had spun. Megan Atkins is on pit road. There's a car smoking. That is, I believe, the Tanner Sullivan machine. Zach Buchanan is also on the pit lane. There's another car up here smoking. Chris Washer, Cittadino, and Makoto Iguchi. And in the plume of all that black smoke, the leaders are going to come to pit road. Right behind those machines that are coming to pit road, there's got to be some oil being laid down by the 72, the 10, and the 9, and the leaders are driving through it on pit road. That's not exactly good, especially with the drivers having so much difficulty with loose conditions in the corners. But anyway, pit stop's going to take place here. Not quite to the halfway point. But McCurry will lead them down here, and let's see what the Kyotech number 61 pit crew can do. Can they get him out first? Danny Wells, Jacob Lawler start on the front row in their 1st and 2nd pit boxes. As McCurry going to go with 4 tires and fuel. Same for Bob Jones, same for Cody Lamas. Bob Jones, Anthony McCurry, identical pit stop times. But McCurry is going to be the first one out, then Bob Jones. Then there was a drag race between Dougie Shears and Cody Lamas for 3rd. I think Dougie may have just barely beaten out Cody for that 3rd position to restart this race. Caution flag is out for the 2nd time tonight. More chasers involved. This time the most notable, Sean Galligan, Sean Henley, and John Cittadino. Well, this incident actually starts all the way back in turn number 3. Watch here. Jacob Lawler, boy, he got really loose. Brandon Gonzalez, I don't know if he tried to woe up in order to not run over the 5 or if he also got loose. But he gets up into the wall, and he begins to ride the wall all the way through turns 3 and 4. Now look behind him. You see the 81 of Noah Hart. He's on the outside line, and he's coming up on the back bumper of the 23. Noah Hart, who's won at this track before, because as I mentioned, when Audi made their debut back in Season 6. But watch right here. Noah Hart sees the 23 is slower. He's going to try and fit his car into that gap there just between Brandon Gonzalez and Nathan Hudson, but apparently he was carrying way too much momentum through that corner. Going to get clipped in the right rear by the 23, spun out, and then this is where it's going to start to get really, really bad. James Silverfox is going to have absolutely nowhere to go. He's going to try and fit between Gonzalez and Hart. Gets into both of them. They go up the racetrack, into the wall again, right in front of Tanner Sullivan. There you see the 20 get a piece of it. And then just find your chaser and see if he makes it through. Levi McIntyre gets spun around in this. And then the big problem as well was there were a number of drivers further back. Zach Buchanan, Harrison Langford, Makoto Iguchi, who did not slow down when this happened. McLeod got a piece of it. There comes Zach. He runs straight into the back of Joshua Collard and now hits the James Silverfox machine. Langford, I think, got into the back of Buchanan. There you see Cittadino. He ran straight into the back of Sean Galligan. Washer was into the back of him. Now look here. Here come Cole Daly, Makoto Iguchi, and Charles Sanford. They're not slowing down. They see smoke. They're going to try and pick up positions. And then this is where it's really going to, a lot of the harder hits are going to come. Daly going to run straight into the back of Sean Henley. And then as if that hit's not enough, Makoto Iguchi then says, oh, the 88's in trouble. I got to go up. He gets nailed from behind by Charles Sanford and propelled straight into the passenger side door of the Pfizer Viagra Chevrolet. And Sean Henley's car, unfortunately for him, is not going to flip over on all four wheels, comes to rest on its roof. Now, I don't know if that hit was going to be enough to take Henley out of the race. He might have still been able to continue. I don't know for certain. He took quite a couple of shots there, one from Cole Daly and one from Makoto Iguchi. But obviously, this is not going to help Henley as far as the championship is concerned. Not defending, but a former Snickers Cup Series champion back from Season 4, Sean Henley, on his roof, and it's going to be a tough Darlington night to start off the contender round for Sean Henley out of Tweenix Racing, as well as for Sean Galligan, Levi McIntyre, John Cittadino, possibly even Joshua Collard, and Dylan Poteet, who I believe all ended up getting pieces of that incident. Now caution lights are out. We'll go back to green on lap 17 of 37, giving us 21 laps remaining in tonight's race. Anthony McCurry is the leader, but we do have a number of drivers behind the wall now, and they include the following. Harrison Langford is actually going to be a lap down. I think Brandon Gonzalez might be continuing as well. We'll update that in a minute. But Sean Galligan has retired from the race, as has Cole Daly, Charles Sanford, Makoto Iguchi, Chris Washer, Tanner Sullivan, Megan Atkins, Sean Henley, John Cittadino, and Zach Buchanan. So 3 of our chasers are out of the race. Cittadino, Henley, and Galligan. This is not going to put them in good positions heading into next week at Lime Rock, because it's going to have them with very, very minimal points, and I believe Brandon Gonzalez is out of the race. Yes, he is. So the only driver that is off the lead lap that is still on track is the 43 of Harrison Langford, currently scored in the 31st position. Top 10 as we go back to green. It's going to be McCurry, Bob Jones, Dougie Shears, Cody Lamas, Ian Dutta now in 5th. Then it's Zachary Fitzwater, Jessica Shelton, Dylan Young, Ashley LaPlante, and pole sitter Danny Wells. As the green flag's ready to come back out here, Anthony McCurry going to get us back underway. And now a big thing for a lot of the chasers here, they would love to be able to come away with a good finish here tonight now, because John Cittadino, Sean Henley, Sean Galligan, they're going to be in the danger zone, so to speak, of possibly being eliminated if they don't get good runs next week at Lime Rock or the following week at Indianapolis. So a good run tonight could help some of these chasers to avoid getting eliminated heading into the next round of the chase. And as I mentioned beforehand, if you end up winning an event here during the contender round, you automatically transfer into the next round of the championship hunt, as Bob Jones made a power move around Anthony McCurry and now makes a power move in pulling away. McCurry kind of caught napping on that restart, and Bob Jones took advantage. Now McCurry's got Bob Jones' teammate, Dougie Shears, to have to deal with. These two kind of remember each other back from Rockingham, North Carolina. Remember when Dougie Shears was leading the way, a lap car of Charles Sanford turned him into the inside wall, and who was the driver that was able to capitalize and take the lead? it was Anthony McCrory. Tell you who else has kind of really surprised me right now is Ian Dutta. Nice run tonight for that Dodge. We haven't really talked much about him or his teammate Chris Washer this season, who both were two-time winners last season when they drove for different teams. And wait a minute, was that a slower car? Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay. Right now, Ian Dutta trying to pick up Dodge's first win of the season. Both Washer and Dutta have been winless so far this season. And we should really concentrate on our chasers. Right now, this is the highest running that we have for our chasers. Dylan Young right now in 8th. Jessica Shelton currently in 9th. And the caution flag is out again. We've already had 3 chasers retire from the race. Let's hope we don't have any more chasers involved in this one. Looks like Joshua Balkowitz is involved. His teammate Harrison Langford, Isaac Canepa. Oh, and another chaser was involved. Joshua Collard is on pit road. There he is, the frozen Miku Mitsubishi Lancer is involved. Boy, chasers are having some difficulty here tonight at Darlington. And this caution coming out with about 17 laps to go. So we should have a little less than 15 left to go when we get back to green. Bob Jones is the leader. Leaders did not come to pit road, so we'll jump back and see what happened. This may have actually started with the slower lap machine of Harrison Langford. No, it actually started with Isaac Canepa, who was battling for the 14th position right there with Jake Rogers and Charles Jackson. He runs it really wide off of 2, though, gets into the wall. That killed a lot of his momentum, too. And then Kyle Matthews in the 24 comes into view. He's going to try and make a move to the inside, heading here into 3. And I think Canepa's going to try and block him or something. But Canepa's going to get into, or make that Matthews is going to get into Canepa's left rear. And then, watch this, I think Canepa was not too pleased about that. Decides to show his disapproval of that move, comes back up into the 24, and just puts him into the wall. Joshua Michael's going to get a piece of it there. Chaser James Qualls gets caught behind this, but I think he's going to just barely get through. Noah Hart's just barely going to get through there as well. But then it's not over. Oh, Poteet got a piece of it there. Slightly. I think that was in the passenger side door. But then here comes Collard. Oh, man. Just nowhere for the 34 car to go. Then Balkowitz hits him. Flips him like a circus ball up and in the air. That car's still airborne, by the way, folks. That's not on the ground yet. Now it's on the ground. Now it's on the ground. And then here comes Harrison Langford. He was just trying to make his way through it, and he gets into his own teammate, Balkowitz. And that's going to flip Balkowitz over, and Balkowitz goes for a barrel-rolled ride now. But man, oh man. Some hard licks being taken here late in this race. Isaac Canepa getting some serious air. Balkowitz going for a barrel roll, and yet another chaser possibly out of this race in Joshua Collard. That's what puts us under the caution for what I believe is our 3rd time here tonight. Let's head back for the restart. Bob Jones is your current leader. So not much changes amongst the top 10. Bob Jones still leads. McCrory 2nd, Lamas in 3rd, Dutta 4th, Dougie Shears 5th, 6th Zachary Fitzwater, Dylan Young 7th, 8th Jessica Shelton, Danny Wells in 9th, and now Trent Dunham has cracked the top 10. So we have 3 chasers now inside the top 10. Rest of our chasers, James Qualls, who we saw have that near miss with that wreck, he's 18th. Jacob Lawler's all the way back in 21st, Dylan Poteet 22nd. Michael Norman, after being involved in the first caution, he's been able to work his way back up to 23rd. Levi McIntyre runs in 26th, and that's it for our chasers. The other chasers are out of the races. We'll go ready to go back to green flag racing, and those chasers include Joshua Collard, Sean Galligan, John Sedino, and Sean Henley, as Collard retired from the race along with Canepa, Balkowitz, and Langford in this previous incident. Bob Jones got a nice restart there. McCrory did too, but not nearly as good as Bob Jones did, and Ian Dutta going to go to the inside of Cody Lamas. That'll be for the 3rd position. Best battle on track right now. I'll tell you another driver looked like he was caught napping was Dougie Shears and possibly Dylan Young. Those two caught there on the high line as well, getting freight trained. Cody Lamas going to use the outside line to his advantage. He'll hang on to 3rd, hold Ian Dutta back to 4th. And here's Jessica Shelton. Right now the highest running of the chasers right now. She just moved by Zachary Fitzwater. That was for a spot inside the top 5. Dougie Shears trying to do the same. Now he's got Danny Wells trying to take 6th place away from him. The pole sitters coming back to the front. And Trent Dunham starting to work his way up here as well. He's now the 2nd highest running chaser right now on track. As we got a battle on for 2nd, Cody Lamas is now pulled up to the rear deck lid of the Anthony McCrory machine. It's going to be 10 to go when we hit the stripe, by the way. Now Jessica Shelton joins the fray here. So a 3-car fight for the runner-up spot right now. McCrory, Lamas, and Shelton. Here comes Shelton looking to the inside for 3rd off of Cody Lamas. And wow, Cody had to really bail out of the throttle there going into 1. He's actually going to possibly lose the 4th position to Ian Dutta, maybe 5th to Danny Wells, and Shelton. Wow, she passed both Cody Lamas and Anthony McCrory within 4 turns. Actually, it would have been within 2 turns. She passed Cody in turn 1 and McCrory coming out of turn 2. So now she runs in 2nd, so Michael Norman Motorsports 1st and 2nd place. And you got to wonder if Jessica Shelton gets up here to the 27 of Bob Jones, how hard is Bob going to race her? Because keep in mind, Bob Jones, he hasn't been to victory lane since Derek Motordome of last season. He's only got 1 Snickers Cup Series win. Shelton, on the other hand, she's battling for a championship. And if she could win this race, she transfers into the next round. So would there be team orders here for Bob Jones to let Jessica Shelton on by in order to win the race and transfer into the next round? We'll see, because we're going to find out in mere moments. Shelton is on a mission right up here on the back bumper now of the Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet. Jessica Shelton, this car just all of a sudden seemed to come to life, and she is right there on the back bumper of her teammate. Now let's see what kind of racing we're going to see out of these 2 teammates out of Michael Norman Motorsports. Will they race each other hard, or is Shelton going to let Bob Jones go and just rack up the points of a runner-up finish, or is Bob Jones going to let her on by for the victory? Right now, looks like Jessica Shelton pretty content to ride behind her teammate Bob Jones. The question is she just riding, or is she just sizing him up? That we're not going to know until the 94 might potentially make a move. As these 2 continue to enjoy a bit of a gap here over 3rd place Cody Lamas. Here comes Danny Wells, moving underneath of Ian Dutta. That's for the 5th position. He started on the pole. He lost the lead rather early, but now he's coming back to the front. Now trying to go for 4th place off of Anthony McCrory. Might make a move here in 3. Not quite. Kind of has to run the same line McCrory's running. The tires are obviously worn, so these drivers not able to run quite as low on the racetrack as they were earlier on. And now here he comes looking to the inside. He'll go for that 4th position. Actually, yeah, that would be for 4th. Ian Dutta going to go to 5th as McCrory slips up there. There's the 2nd highest running chaser right now, Dylan Young, right now in the 9th position. Whoa, Jake Rogers, Dougie Shears. And they're still rubbing doors. Jake Rogers not very appreciative of that move Dougie Shears made right there. Jake almost got turned. Running right now in the 10th position, Dougie in 11th. James Qualls right now the 3rd highest running chaser in the 15th position, but he'll now lose that to Noah Hart. And Trent Dunham now going to come up here and try and take that position away from him as well, become the 3rd highest running chaser. James Qualls now going to fall back to 4th highest running, and right now the 5th highest running, even damaged and all, is Dylan Pote. But look who he's got behind him, Jacob Lawler and Michael Norman. Levi McIntyre way off the pace here. Same for Kyle Matthews. I don't know if either of them are going to get encountered here in the final few stages of this race as we got 3 to go. Shelton looking low. Bob Jones trying to block. Oh boy. Oh, Shelton very wisely backing out of that, at least for now. But I think she's letting Bob Jones know, hey, you open up the door, I'm going to fill it. Nose to tail here between Bob Jones and Jessica Shelton. Car on pit road. I believe that may be James McLeod. I thought I saw him slowing down coming to pit road, so something amiss on the 51 with 2 more laps to go. I don't know, is it green flag pit stops? Maybe. I mean, I know they pitted back on lap 14. The fuel window's 14 to 16 laps. I don't know. Right now, though, we're watching this battle for the potential win here at Darlington. White flag displayed. It's going to be a Michael Norman Motorsports driver nonetheless. Bob Jones leads. Jessica Shelton in second. Will Shelton rough up her teammate in order to get into the winning column here and move into the next round? She's right on his left rear. And is she going to come to the inside? She's trying to get the run. Not able to make it there in that entry. I think she did that purposely to try and get a nice run here out of 4. Here she comes, right onto the back bumper. Shelton going to maybe try and make a move on Bob Jones, coming down here to the stripe. No, she remained content to ride behind Bob Jones. Bob Jones going to win here tonight in the Bojangles Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway. His second win of his Snickers Cup Series career and first of Season 8. And he owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to one Jessica Shelton, because she could have moved him out of the way several times in those closing stages and transferred her way in to the next round of the chase, but instead she was willing to let Bob Jones take the win, and she settled instead for second place points in the chase. That's not the only time we've ever seen Jessica Shelton help out a teammate. Remember back to Talladega Season 7, she helped her teammate Megan Atkins to her first career win. Shelton very much a team player at Michael Norman Motorsports, and she just gave a win to another teammate here tonight at Darlington. Bob Jones picking up the victory here tonight and becomes the third Michael Norman Motorsports driver to go to victory lane here in Season 8. Let's take a look at the official finishing results here. Things getting kind of crazy from third on back in the closing stages, but that battle for the win was too good to miss. So Shelton going to come away with second. Danny Wells was in third, so the pole sitter having a great night. Cody Lamas, one of his best finishes of the season, of 4th place. 5th place for Ian Dutta. Then Zachary Fitzwater was 6th. Anthony McCurry was in 7th, so a good representation for Audi tonight at the track that they won at in their debut back in Season 6. Nathan Hudson, he did not transfer into this contender round of the chase, but a great run for him tonight in 8th. 9th place was Dylan Young, and Jake Rogers, after we saw that great save he made, almost getting turned by Dougie Shears, he'll still hold on to a top 10. So only 2 chasers finished the night out inside the top 10, Shelton in 2nd and Dylan Young in 9th. Where'd the rest of our chasers finish? Let's find out here, as we got to go a long ways down to 17th place. That's where James Qualls finished out the evening. Dylan Poteet was in 19th. Michael Norman finished in 21st. Jacob Lawler 22nd. And Trent Dunham ended up finishing a lap down in 25th place. I believe he, James Silverfox, and Levi McIntyre all had to pit in the closing stages. So Dunham 25th, McIntyre in 27th. They both finished a lap down. And then the chasers that finished out of the race, 29th was Joshua Collard, Sean Galligan in 33rd, and Sean Henley in 40th, and John Citadino in 41st. So basically take a look at where each chaser finished, and that's the lineup that it's going to be heading into next week as far as the points. Jessica Shelton will be the points leader, Dylan Young 2nd, Qualls 3rd, Poteet, I believe, 4th, and Norman will be 5th. Then it'll be Lawler, Dunham, McIntyre, Collard, Galligan, Henley, and Citadino. That's where the top 12 will all be situated in the points, since they all came in dead even tied after the reformatting for the contender rounds. So, Bob Jones picks up the victory here tonight. Jessica Shelton will be the points leader heading into next week as far as the chase standings at Lime Rock. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the crew today. Here comes your official full finishing results, overall points, standings, rookie points, and chase points heading into next week. We finally get back on track after the Homestead Darlington mess up. We will be having all 4 series running at Lime Rock. Then we pack it up and have Trucks, Mobile, and Snickers at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which will be our final race of the contender round, where then it will come down to the Elite 8, moving on to the next round of the Snickers Cup Series chase for the championship. Also be sure to follow the NNSCRA on social media. Facebook and Twitter links are in the description. And you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, off-road racing at its best. but he still opens up his distance. He still keeps a distance between himself and second place McCurry, but all that ground he gained, he just lost right there. But